Hello guys, good morning. Well, today I'm going to my second appointment for my fertility stuff, have you? So I think this appointment is for another ultrasound and blood work, but I had to wait till I started bleeding, have a full bleed in order to come back for this appointment. They call it day 3s, where I think they check my the size of my follicles, and I think they do blood work to check my estrogen levels, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But that is where I'm on my way to now, so we shall see how it goes. This is a Sunday. I didn't even know they were open on the weekend, but they are, I guess, because it's such a time sensitive process. So yeah, that's where I'm heading to now, and yeah, I will hit you guys back in a flash. Ooh, hair's all over the place. But yeah, so my appointment went really well. It was just a short one. It was just the blood work, and it was okay, son, give my skin the glow it needs. Anyway, blood work and a sonogram, and they checked my follicle size and my follicle count. So I have 12 follicles on my right ovary and 7 on my left, which they said is really good because they try to get 12 all together between both of them, but I have 19 all together between both of them. So I did ask her if that means, is that how many eggs I would stimulate, and she said not necessarily. It just means that you have a good chance that your body reacts well. Like it increases your chances that your body will react well to this because you have so many follicles. So I was like, okay, that's good. So my next appointment is my mock trial, my mock transfer on Tuesday, where I believe they'll I have to come in with a full bladder, which I hate sonograms like this, but I've had so many in my life that you would think I'd be used to them by now, but no, they suck. I hate them. They, like, having your bladder be that full for a period of time is the worst feeling in the world. The best release when you actually pee, but it's the worst feeling in the world until you get to that point. It's almost like when I was pregnant and I had my daughter, and it was like the biggest relief out of my stomach. But anyway, so yeah, I am gonna come back in for that, and then I think they put like saline in me to see if I have any polyps or anything in my uterus, and to see if what the length is of my cervix. I think something like that. So hopefully it's not a long thing. And then I asked her what the next steps were after the mock, and she was like, you'll meet with the doctor, and we'll get you started on your medicine and all that stuff. But I'm like, well, that's not for another couple weeks, because he didn't have any other availability before the 29th. So at that point, that means, sorry, I cut off. So yeah, his next appointment availability is until the 29th. So that means we'll pretty much be waiting another 2 weeks. So my mock trial will be on Tuesday, and if nothing opens up before the 29th, that's the next time we'll talk to him. And I did let her know that, I don't want to have to go through this whole, if he doesn't see anything wrong with my lab work or any of that stuff or any of my husband's stuff, I don't feel the need to keep waiting. I'm not trying to rush the process, but I'm also not needing, there's no need to prolong it at this point, because at the end of the day, if there's nothing wrong with me, why would we push it back to having to get started later? Sorry guys, my hair flying right now. It's just throwing me off. Anyway, but yeah, so she said, I'll definitely let the doctor know that's how you feel. Instead of making that appointment, hopefully be more of a, hey, this is when you'll get started on your medicine. We'll try to make that appointment. Okay, you're starting your medicine today. And I was like, that'll work, because she's like, we normally start IVF every 3 weeks on Fridays. And I was like, yeah, and my appointment's on a Tuesday, I think. So I'm like, if we can start that Friday, after our appointment, that would be ideal. All right, guys. So my hair, man. Update on my appointment today. So I had my sono mock transfer today, and it was a little you feel crampy. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The part, of course, of where you had to fill up your bladder to 32 ounces or make a full bladder, that's obviously always uncomfortable. But that wasn't the first time I've ever had to do that. So that part wasn't that bad. But when they stuck the catheter in, that was a little uncomfortable. And my doctor told me, she's like, it's going to be crampy. I'm inserting it now. You're gonna get a little cramping, a little bit of pain. So she talked me through the whole thing, so it was fine. It went pretty fast too. So she basically what they did was, first they checked to make sure my bladder was full. Then once they realized it was good, they actually said it was kind of overly full. So they said when it comes time to actually do the embryo transfer, to not make it that full. Because if you are somebody who doesn't drink a lot of water every day, because I didn't know this. So when they tell you to fill up your bladder, it's actually like what you drank the day before. And so she was like, that's why yours is probably overly filled, because I told her I drank 2 bottles of water, and she was like, you probably don't need to do that because it comes from the day before what you drank. And I was like, well, I typically try to drink a gallon a day. She was like, okay, you're definitely somebody who does not need to drink 2 bottles of water then when this comes. She was like, just think about how you feel right now and just take a little bit off of that. And so I was like, all right. So in my head, I'm like, well, then I guess I'll just drink like a bottle of water instead of 2 bottles. But we'll see when it comes time to do the actual transfer. But once they did that, they then what did they do next? Jesus, I'm like drawing a blank. They then, God, what am I? Oh, they measured my cervix. So they put the catheter in, measured my cervix, and then they let me release myself. They let me go pee. And then when I came back, they did the saline solution, where they insert the saline solution to see if I had any polyps on my uterus, which I do. So I will have to get a hysteroscopy, meaning they would go in, put me under anesthesia, go in, clean up the polyps off my uterus lining so that my uterus lining can be smooth for a embryo to be able to attach. Because what happens is, if you have all these adhesions or polyps, then you cannot, like, the embryo is very unlikely to attach. It doesn't have a smooth surface to attach to. So she said, I have to go through the other process of it first. So what they'll do is we'll start on the medicine after I have my consult with my doctor in 2 weeks. Grow the eggs, retrieve the eggs, take it through the PGT testing or whatever, and freeze them. And then while all that's going on, do my surgery, so that as soon as my surgery is done, like maybe like a few days after, a week after, they can implant or put the embryos back in me, because they like to try to input the embryos back in you as soon as close as possible to you getting the polyps removed. And she said it does increase the chances of it being successful. So I'm just trying to be positive. I'm just trying to keep my head up. Just trying to keep pushing through. This will be my third hysteroscopy that I've been through, or surgery on my lady parts that I've been through. So at this point, yeah, it is what it is. My husband's very supportive of this. He's very much so like, we just got to keep pushing through. You'll be okay. Stay strong. Because he knows I've been through a lot with my body, especially when it comes to my woman areas. So yeah, that's all we can do. Stay strong. So, we think this would definitely work. And I look at it from this perspective, like, had I not even gotten that done, I would have never known I even had those polyps. So from the positive perspective, I'm glad I got it done, and I found out that it's wrong, something in there, because if I didn't, then I would have never known, and it could have gotten worse. So yeah. And I'm just happy that it's something that's fixable, something that doesn't seem like it's going to put a pit stop in my IVF journey. Just adds the extra step, and it is what it is. It doesn't seem like it's stopping the goal of getting pregnant again. So yeah, so I will keep you guys updated on what happens when we talk to our doctor in 2 weeks, which is the consult appointment, because he didn't have anything sooner. So yeah, he'll let us know what our next steps are. He'll also let me know if I need to get my other fallopian tube removed as well, because the remaining fallopian tube I have is pretty damaged, and the doctor today mentioned that there is a possibility that the fluid that I have in my fallopian tube could seep up into my uterus and kind of cause issues. So she definitely said discuss that with my doctor when we talk to him in a couple weeks. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you guys, I guess, in a couple weeks or soon. All right. Peace.